Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super excited to announce that we have a new show. And as you can see right now, here we are. This is the Bravara Media Podcast Talk Show. So it allows us, because all you guys know us as sportscasters, but we're more than that. We're more than just sportscasters. We're human beings. We have issues, and we want to talk to people outside of sports. So today, we do have Heather Shaw here. She's from the She Knows Vegas YouTube channel. Just a quick tidbit. I met Heather at the local watering hole here. We were having drinks one night and got introduced to her by our friend Michael Bischoff. Shout out to you, Mike. And at Schooner's Pub. Shout out to Schooner's Pub. And this shout out doesn't come free. So I think that Schooners owes
No
us a
free
couple
ads.
of beers. No free hats. That's right. And as y'all can see, we have Sheldon here. Sheldon's here from the Western Connection podcast, also part of the Bravara Media family, and of course the Inferno 403 podcast. And we have rave healer Brian. Brian is here from the Baseball Nerds 403, and Heather. Tell us a little bit about your channel before we get going here.
Okay, so I used to go to Vegas regularly every month, starting about 18 years ago, and I don't go that often anymore. But I wrote a blog, and I did that because people always ask me so many questions because I went so often. And I decided I kind of dropped that. And then a couple of years ago, I wasn't working, and I thought, I'm going to start watching YouTube. And then I started learning about YouTube. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a YouTube channel. If you can't find a job, make a job. So that's how it all got started. And I mean, I love Vegas, so it's perfect for me, anyways, for a YouTube channel.
Well, I've watched the YouTube channel, and I really like it. I'll be watching it more and more because I'll be headed down south to work again. Shout out Las Vegas Raiders. Thank you for hiring me. I'm very happy that I have a job with you guys. So I'll be checking out like the weather. I'll be checking out the weather with Heather.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I had to do, because when I started my YouTube channel, I took a trip there February 19, and then we don't want to talk about it pandemic hit, and so then I couldn't go to Vegas anymore. So I just did the video footage that I had. I turned it into YouTube videos, but then I'm like, my channel was growing, and I'm like, what do I do now? I can't go. So I decided to be She Knows Vegas Weather and Sports. And then when sports isn't really happening, then I'm like, just She Knows Vegas Weather. But I mean, I have a green screen, and I just have a ton of fun, and I have drinks when I'm doing the weather. And I research it for legit. Like, I actually give you the real weather, but it's not your regular. I think the very first episode, I was wearing a bikini out on my deck because I couldn't figure out the green screen yet.
Well, I wonder too, because I mean, with doing that, and I've seen videos where you teach people how to win money playing slots. I might need that help. Recently, I've ran into some financial issues, and so maybe while I'm not in Vegas, maybe I could make that a second income. You'll have to teach me.
Yeah, actually, I have some more of those videos coming out because they're by far my most popular videos, for sure. And I mean, I can go to the casinos here and still create those videos because, I mean, it's really just learning how to play strategically, and I do pretty good, so.
Speaking about doing pretty good, Brian's kind of really relaxed and looking like he's doing pretty good right now. Do you have some? What's your first question for Heather?
Well, probably the people watching your videos is the reason we have so many advantage players coming into my casino. So that explains a lot. And that's always a pain in the butt to deal with. But so like actually there's a bit of it's ironic because myself, my brother-in-law, and one of my buddies, we were all planning a guys trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
When this crap ends or whatever. And we were just trying to we were hoping to God that we could we could plan it perfectly, that we could get a Knights game in, a Raiders game in, and possibly a UFC fight. But the chances of all three lining up are slim to none. But it's just like, for me, like, Vegas has kind of always been on my bucket list. My parents have been there. But yeah, no, it's the entertainment capital of the world. Oddly enough, a friend of mine, his father-in-law lives down there, and he actually made his millions in a not the most clean way, but yeah. So he's down in Vegas. He has a bit of an interesting history, but yeah.
So what's your question for Heather, Brian?
Greg, what was your career prior to that? What was your career prior to starting the vlog? And I guess if you had to pick another, like, is Vegas always been like kind of super special to you?
Okay, so my career prior, I've always mostly been in sales positions, marketing, sales, that kind of thing. And so this is kind of sort of right up my alley, because I mean, in a sense, you're selling what you're doing videos about. And Vegas has always been, like, for 18 plus years. As soon as I ever found out about it, thank you, Mom and Dad. Then I've been addicted ever since. I love sparkle and bling and all that stuff. So that place just attracts me. And Brian, I can't believe you did you actually say you haven't been there yet?
No, because like the closest I've been down to San Diego, and then that was when I turned 21.
Yeah.
So I turned 22, and yeah, I would have turned 21 in 2018, and then 2019 I was working, and then 2020 we were supposed to plan a trip for Vegas. I'd say, actually, we were planning that in January of 2020.
Yeah.
January, February 2020, we were making plans to go to Vegas, and then this all hit.
Wow. Well, it's like no place you've ever been. It's so much fun. It's crazy. It's just it's awesome. And so, but aside from She Knows Vegas, I also decided that I was going to do She Knows YouTube. I'm going to teach people how to do YouTube, because it's a natural progression, because I've learned so much. And then Girlfriend Talk TV, wherever that's going to go, I don't know.
Well, hope you have us on as guests, or the next guy on for his first question. I think he'd be a good guest. Sheldon, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so I mean, Brian's not alone there. I have also not been there before. I know. My brother's been, he loved it. But for somebody like me or Brian who's never been, what are your top 3 gotta go check out kind of things down there?
Oh man, you definitely have to go to some kind of a sporting event. I would say 100%. You have to do that. If you're like crazy thrill seeker kind of person, you got to go to the Strat, and they have like this ride that goes off the top. It would be like the Calgary Tower, probably even taller, and it goes off the top and then comes back in. You got to do that. And great restaurants, food. I'm sure there's so many things. Golf. Oh, there's a great place at MGM called Top Golf. You got to go there.
I've heard of that one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I see videos on that place on Instagram all the time. That place is crazy. Looks like so much fun.
It is so much fun. It's like a nightclub and a golf hitting range. Like, I don't know. It's wicked. It's fun.
It's a Shanks on steroids.
Yeah.
There's
100 times on steroids.
There's a YouTube video. I think this was taken. It was actually during spring training of last year. The LA, it's like, so all the MLB has a bunch of the their camps down there, and then there's a video of Mike Trout, who's probably like this generation's greatest ball player, absolutely murdering some poor golf ball. He sends it like 500, 600 feet down the range. He just absolutely sends this thing into orbit. I'm like, that golf ball had a family, man. Yeah.
Now, for our viewers who actually follow Heather on Twitter or watch Heather's YouTube videos, I know that you guys probably know her from a distance, right? So we want to give you guys the opportunity, new viewers to our show to get to maybe know Heather a little bit more. So outside of Vegas, what is it that is there? What kind of hobbies do you have? Do you like to go play hockey, like beer league hockey, and check unsuspecting men into the boards, or do you like to read graphic novels, or what are some hobbies that you have?
Well, I don't get to do a lot because my mom's 90 and she lives on her own, so I spend a lot of time with my mom.
Yeah.
And really, I'm really into this whole YouTube thing. I'm into learning how to film and just really master everything. So that's really what I spend most of my time on. I like to have the odd beverage at the neighborhood pub, as we discussed.
Woo,
And
scooters.
yeah, and honestly, I really like gambling. So I go over to Grey Eagle Casino here in Calgary with my mom every Wednesday for dinner and playing the games, and that's about it. And I have 2 little grandkids.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't
What
even
a-
know how that happened, but it did. So I like spending time with them.
I tell you what, I understand that. I got a little brother, and I didn't even think he'd. I didn't think he'd finish high school. I actually didn't think he could walk. In fact, when he was little, I didn't think he could even talk at any point. But now, he's his fiance Catherine is about to have they're about to have their first. So sometimes you just don't know how these things happen because I look at my little brother Justin, and he's just he's an idiot. So I didn't even know like he could even get a girlfriend. But having said that, now let's talk a little bit about gambling because that's an interest of yours. And me being, I know this sounds kind of politically incorrect, but as we all know here in Calgary, and we know in Vegas, or we know in Vancouver, or we know in Houston, or we know in Shanghai, or in Beijing. Sorry, not Beijing, not Shanghai, Macau. Asian
Hong
people love
Kong.
to gamble. Oh, yes. So Asian people love to gamble. So I've been there. I like to gamble as well. I don't gamble as much as I used to, of course. And last year I didn't get an opportunity to play in Vegas because of the pandemic. Most things were shut down for a while.
Yeah.
What's your favorite game?
Well, I just play slots, so I never play anything else. And I don't really have a favorite one. I just like whatever's blinging. The more blingy, the more lights, the more it just like draws me in. And so, but I have a lot of fun. I love playing slots. I'd go every night if I could.
Oh, for sure. I've never seen you play those VLTs at Schooners. Do you like those?
No, I never play VLTs, and I can't really explain that because really they're really a slot machine. They have them at Grey Eagle too, and I never play them there. But I know why I don't play them at Grey Eagle, because you can't take your ticket out of the machine and go to like a regular machine. You can't do that. So I don't really understand the difference between VLTs and regular slot machines. I've never looked into it enough to really care, but sometimes I probably will, because I want to understand what's the difference and why I don't want to play them, because I just don't.
So I work in a casino. So since you're from Calgary, you might know where remember the old Frank Sissons, Silver Dollar?
Yeah.
So that is now Ace Casino on Blackfoot Trail. It's owned by the same company that owns Cash.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it comes down to just like the inner workings, because I know with slot machines you can put in I think 100, like you can put in higher bills.
Okay.
VLTs are just kind of like at my casino, I'd say we make most of the money that goes into the casino comes from the slots, I'd say. And I think according to what I saw from AGLC's annual report, so 75% of AGLC's profits, like 75% of the profits from our casino go to AGLC, and a lot of that comes from the slots. Casinos here in Alberta are worth about just under $1 billion. that's the income generated.
Annually, yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's part of one of the reasons why casinos were almost one of the last things to close, and in that second group of things to open up, because it's such a massive moneymaker for the government.
Yeah.
That's half $1 billion industry right there, because you have the gambling, the liquor sales. We had one guy walk out with $25,000 a couple of weeks ago in table games alone.
Wow.
It's not bad for that casino. Do they still when Frank had it going, they had like Hawaiian shirts even in the dead of winter, like dealers in Hawaiian shirts, just the tackiest outfits over at Sisson's Casino. They don't have those anymore, do they?
Not anymore, because it went from Sisson's and went to Century. I think
Right.
in Century it transferred to Ace, and I've been working with Century. But no, it's still. I mean, nothing much has changed.
Sheldon, so I got a question for you. What do you know? What do you know about gambling? And what questions do you have, if you have any, for Heather about gambling? Because you look to me like you would be a long-time loser if you were playing casino games.
Yeah, I probably would be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never stepped foot in the casino here. They built this super fancy, nice new casino. It's honestly like 5 minutes from my apartment. They built it like 5 years ago, like right when I turned legal age, and I was obviously, when I turned legal age, I was like a broke kid, so I'm not gonna go then. And now I think I'm just too cheap, because, like Vi said, I'd probably lose a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Where do you live, Sheldon?
I live in Kamloops, BC.
Okay, I was thinking. I'm trying to think. Okay, there's been no casinos built up here in Calgary, but yeah, no.
Now, Heather, you prefer Grey Eagle. Is that because just in proximity to us? Because for those who don't know, Heather and I live in the same hood. We call it the hood, but it's not really the hood. It's quite a fancy area, I guess, right? Older fancy area. But is it because the Grey Eagle is just closer to us? Is that why you prefer it there, or do you just like it?
Well, I mean, initially it was definitely because it's closer to us for sure, and it's a really nice casino, and I really like it a lot. But I have gone to some other ones, and I don't mind them. But in all reality, I definitely prefer Grey Eagle just because of the casino, not really just because of where it is. So, I mean, we have so many casinos here.
Well,
yeah.
I can probably name all of them off the top of my head. That's sad.
That is sad.
You degenerate, you.
Well, I mean, like, I know. Well, they're actually building a new one up near the airport too.
I know. It's going to open in 2022, I think.
Yeah, and that's
23, maybe 22.
So that's going to be that. So the company I work for owns that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I can't wait.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we are talking about our city, which is Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Tons of casinos here. Not too many cowboys. Not very many cows. In fact, they call it Cow Town, but we could actually call it Casino Town, because I think per capita we may have the most casinos in one place, other than Las Vegas itself or Atlantic City or something.
I would say in Canada we do, definitely, because, like, off the top of my head, we have Pure, Cowboys, Elbow, Deerfoot, Grey Eagle, Ace, Cash, and then if you want to toss in Century Downs up in Balzac.
Did you say Cowboys?
Cowboys Casino, yeah. And then
all those underground casinos in Chinatown, Calgary.
Oh, we don't have any of those.
No.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. How many do you have in Kamloops, Sheldon? Just the one?
We have two.
Okay.
Yeah. One on each side of town, pretty much.
Is there a nicer one than the other? Is there Why have you never really stepped foot? You've never stepped foot into my.
Actually, I was thinking about that afterwards. The one up by my apartment here has a pretty awesome breakfast buffet, so I have been in that one. It looks pretty fancy inside. Most people I know prefer the one up here. Yeah, the one up by my place. It's pretty big. They got a couple restaurants inside and everything like that.
You are watching the Bravura Media podcast talk show. We'll be right back with our second segment in a second. And we are back to our second segment here with our pilot episode of the Bravura Media Podcast Talk Show. And I am Loops Helmet. We have Sheldon Hankins here. And we have Brian Rafe Healer. And, of course, our first guest, very esteemed guest, and very, very proud to have her here, is Heather Shaw from She Knows Vegas. Now, Heather, we met at the watering hole. That means that we both like to enjoy our adult beverages every once in a while. Is that there you go, glass of wine. Now I know cheers. I know that you're a bit of a wino. What do you prefer, Chardonnay, or do you have a specific something that you like?
I just usually drink Pinot Grigio or Pinot Gris. I really do prefer white over red. And I like Crantinis too. I was almost going to go out and get the fixins for that tonight, but I was running behind.
Well, and the choices that you have for your wine. I mean, you can tell that you're a very classy lady. See, I don't drink that. I don't drink that shit. To me, I'm like, give me some Jack Daniels and some and a pint of Coors Light draft beer. Like, I'm just a greasy hooligan that way. So it's
well, I don't know if I'm classy. I'm gonna be drinking this next.
You're supposed to act. You're supposed to. No, always a classy lady. Every time I see you at the watering hole, there, you're very classy. So.
Oh,
that's
you
the
haven't
truth.
been around enough, by.
I only try to go there. I try to go there maybe once a week or maybe sometimes twice a week. I might pop in there for lunch some days, but I figure if I go too much, then I wouldn't be able to work and all that. And we do a lot of podcasting at night, so I don't want our viewership to always see me drunk, Or maybe one day I'll do one live at the bar, and when I see you there, we'll just say hi and just create a podcast or something.
That would totally be dope. We should do it.
For sure. All right, guys. The two of you guys, what do you guys drink? What do you guys prefer?
Sheldon, you can go first on this one, buddy.
Yeah, a lot like Vi. I mean, I'm not picky. I like my Jack Daniels as well.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my go-to. Give me a Jack and Coke. Either that or just a Molson or something like that. Keep it simple.
Honestly, normally I'm not a big drinker, which is there's a bit of a personal history there. But that being said, depending on who I drink with, it's normally great because, again, like my friends who I was drinking with last night, I think it was probably like, I'll put it this way: I was drinking enough that my a half an Irish, half Newfie accent came out full bore, and one of probably my best friends, Skylar, she was about ready to hit me. She was just like, "I cannot deal with this. I'm going to smack you sooner or later." I'm like, and that's always been something like and that's the way it is. Drink of choice, I'd say, is Jack Daniel's Honey and Ginger Ale. Or Jack Daniel's Honey and I think it was Jack Daniel's Honey and Pepsi was another one I liked. And then I'll drink anything from, I've started to like this apple cider they have from Village. And then Wild Rose's Raspberry Ale. but I'm a Budweiser guy.
Yeah, sounds to me like you're quite the drinker. You say you don't drink much. You rattled off like 6 different drinks there. Me and Sheldon are like, we're just simple guys. 2 drinks, you know.
I grew up
Funny
around
thing,
alcohol.
I was thinking the same thing.
I just know what to look for.
Ask him what he likes to drink, and he says he doesn't drink much, but he rattles off like 20 drinks.
Right?
Anyway, let's because we sound like a bunch of degenerates right now. We're talking about gambling. We're talking about drinking. Just looks like this degenerate crew that we have here. But of course, y'all know us from Inferno 403, or you know us from Western Connection or Baseball Nerds. We like to have fun. That's the one thing about Bravara Media, and you'll see in our on our Twitter pages. We're always having fun together. We're always doing some stuff together, whether it be going to live sporting events or going to bars, going to karaoke. We sing. We like singing. By the way, I thought I got COVID 2 weeks ago, guys. I don't know if you guys. I know our Twitter followers had seen this because we were tweeting while we were karaokeing. But a young lady who was very drunk was spinning on her chair, and she fell off her chair. Got up. She had a table of girlfriends that didn't didn't help her. They just laughed at her, and then we were all laughing at her. It was quite funny. And she got up, and she told me, she came to me, and she said, "I just fell out of my chair because I was spinning." I seen that, young lady. I did see that. And then she grabbed my face and she kissed me, and I looked at Kofi, the co-host from Inferno 403, and I said, I think I just got COVID for the second time.
Oh, no.
Complete stranger. So Alberta, be better. Stop kissing random people. This is how we get such high numbers. I think we had 700 this week. If I'm not wrong, but that's another. So I wanted to segue into that, guys. So let's talk a little bit about COVID-19. Let's get our views on this. Not whether or not it's real or not. Of course, we know it's real, right?
Yeah.
But Heather, what are your thoughts on this? On the restrictions being lifted, and we're pretty much free here in Calgary. Are you still taking precautions as you go out, because you do, like you had mentioned, your mother's 90 years old, so you take a lot of time to take care of her. So I imagine that you would.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about the whole thing nowadays?
I also am immune compromised. I've been on immune suppressing drug for about 29 years now. So I have to be super careful for me and for her, for sure for her. And so I'm glad that everything's open. I'm glad to be able to go everywhere and not wear a mask. I'm not scared or worried. I sanitize my hands. As soon as I leave my condo, I get in my vehicle, I have hand sanitizer. I've been walking in the halls, I sanitize my hands, off I go. Whenever we get to the casino, as soon as we get in there, we hand sanitize. As soon as I get home, I wash my hands. And I don't go to big crowds. I didn't go to the Stampede. I don't go to really crowded events. I'll go to the casino because it's not really that busy. They still have the dividers up between the machines, and I'll go to Schooners because Schooners is never that really busy. So, I'm just careful, but I hope it's over, it's never going to be over. We're going to have it, I think, forever. But I just hope we can all just relax. What I hate is how it's divided people. I really, really don't like that. You're either getting a vaccine or you're not. And if you're not, you're a bad person. And if you are, you're an idiot. I can't handle all that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't stand anywhere really politically. Maybe I lean a little bit more left, but at the same time, it's not my business what people do. I don't think. Especially vaccine wise. If I'm vaccinated, ladies and gentlemen, I am double vaxxed. And I'm happy to be that, but if you're double vaxxed, it means to me anyway. If I'm double vaxxed, it means I am somewhat protected, a little bit more protected than the next person. So whether or not they get vaxxed or not, if they have a vaccination or not, sure. If I get COVID, I might feel something, but it won't be as heavy as depending on this Delta variant, which I heard could be quite nasty. But hopefully, those who can get vaxxed do get vaxxed. Hopefully, but none of my fucking business whether or not you do or not. That's up to you. That's your life that you live.
Right? Yeah.
How is the climate out in BC there in Kamloops, Sheldon?
Actually, as of midnight today, our interior health region where I live have just re-mandated masks. So we took a couple steps back. Our cases were climbing a little bit, not as hard as you guys, but I guess they just want to bite it in the ass before anything happens. It gets bad. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be as careful as I can. I mean, I go and visit my mom and grandma all the time. And I have asthma myself, so I definitely try to be as careful as I can. I wear my mask and all that kind of stuff. I don't do a whole lot. I'm too busy, watching and talking about sports with you guys half the time to do anything anyways. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it sucks, but it's okay. I mean, it's for the better, I guess, in the long run.
Two things before we get to Brian here. To Sheldon's girlfriend, I'm so sorry for taking up so much of your boyfriend, Sheldon's girlfriend. So sorry for taking up so much of the time that his time away from you. So I apologize for that. And then the the second thing is I do want to say that Jason Kenney, I would still like to fight you if you would accept my challenge. I will. I don't have to unretire. I don't have to unretire from fighting. I mean, I could still kick your butt if you wanted to step in the ring for charity. I'll lace up those boots anytime there, big fella. Brian, what are your thoughts on Jason Kenney and and what's going on here in Calgary? Yeah.
So I'm in I have asthma. I've had I'm pretty sure I had COVID back in 2019.
Oh no.
So I think it was just it was a light strain of it because I was on my ass for about a week, couldn't move off the couch, and this was back home in Newfoundland. So I'm pretty much sure it was a light strain of it because I flew from Calgary to Toronto and through Montreal to get back to Newfoundland. So there's a good chance I probably already had it. And it sucked, but and I'm in agreement with you there, Lube and Heather. That's my I have friends there's people on my Facebook who are anti-vax, and people are like, well, how can you tolerate them? I'm like, because at the end of the day, whether they if they choose to believe in that, that's their own problem. If they get sick with it, that's their own problem. There's a quote from a TV show called Letterkenny Problems, who Sheldon actually looks like Squirrely Dan, just saying. And the quote is, when you try to argue with stupid people, they will beat you down. They will pull you down to the level and beat you with experience. Up until I'd say July 5th, I was wearing my mask up until actually the start of Stampede, because that was my 2-week mark. Around the first part of Stampede, because that was my 2-week mark for my vaccine. I am double vaxxed, and I'm at the point now where if I get COVID after being double vaccinated, I'm like, okay, that's just fate. And at the casino I work at, we still have our staff who wear masks. We still have patrons who wear masks. And that's up to them. And I'm a firm believer in that. I'll take a mask with me if I'm taking an Uber or I'm taking transit because I don't want to be fine.
Well, you don't have a choice, really, right? I know.
Uber actually, I've had a bunch of Uber drivers. Some of them they're okay. They don't care.
Oh, okay.
No, okay.
Transit, it's hit or miss. I still take it just in case.
Yeah, of course.
Transit cops. But honestly, I don't even think they really care anymore. But I'd say the big thing is do I still wear a mask? Yes, here and there. If I have to wear it to go into a store, yes. I have no issues with that. But for me, like, COVID has shown the ugliest parts of humanity. I've seen that firsthand. And I've seen but I will say COVID's also kind of given us, it has divided people. It's divided people. Either you're a sheep for believing, for even thinking, you're going to get vaccinated, or you're a spreadnet. I'm like, nah, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm just me.
I'm just me.
Right?
I'm not, like, one of my best friends, she can't get the vaccine because of the ingredients. She's allergic, and that would cause a severe health reaction to her.
Yeah.
Do I think any less of her? No, she's like my sister, and I love her to death. Her boyfriend's the same way. Some of his health issues are from a life of drugs and being very careless when he was younger. And he's only gotten clean in the last year or so. So that's kind of something his system wouldn't be able to, it's another health effect for him. But yeah, no, I'm very much, I think you should get vaxxed. I know there's talks, I know Live Nation Concerts Incorporated, so the company that does a lot of the concerts at the Saddle Dome and all the concerts in Canada and the States, have said, hey, if you want to come to our events, you have to either have proof of vaccination or have a negative COVID test. And I believe that's where we're going now. And I have no issues with that.
But it kind of sucks for those who have health concerns, right?
Oh yeah,
right? Like health concerns that you cannot get vaccinated, which kind of sucks. Like I know now, like in Las Vegas. So to the Las Vegas crowd that follows Heather's Twitter and YouTube page, or my fellow Raider Nation that follows me when it comes to the stuff that I do for the Vegas Raiders. Allegiant Stadium, you have to show that you've been double vaxxed, and now they even have you can actually get your shots at the stadium if you haven't gotten them, and you can come back later when you get both done per se.
True North, I know the Winnipeg Jets, the owners of the Jets, True North Sports and Entertainment, have done the same thing. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment in Toronto have done the same thing for the Raptors and Leafs.
Yeah.
I think the Canucks just announced the same thing this morning.
I suspect, if the Flames have any sense, they would do the same thing. But we live in Alabama North, so it's not going to happen.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys.
Shoot.
So I'm not really understanding this whole you can only come if you're vaccinated thing, simply because if you're vaccinated, as you know, you can still get it, you can still give it. You might not get as sick, but you can still get it and give it. So the person that isn't vaccinated, they can still get it and give it. So what's the difference between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, besides the point that the vaccinated won't potentially get as sick, but some have actually died? And so I'm just not understanding, again, this division. It's like you either comply or you stay home. I don't understand that.
So it's mainly with the Delta variant, because right now what we're seeing here in Alberta and Calgary and what we're seeing in the States is the majority of the cases and deaths are coming.
And there he goes.
Well, damn.
He may have been talking too much there, and he just killed himself. But on this podcast, I'm not too sure.
Died.
Or his battery died. There he is again. I'm just going to add him. Just to elaborate a little bit on what Brian is saying. Well, before I do that, I'll actually let Brian finish. But for those who don't know that may be watching from Las Vegas or anywhere in the world, we like to call Alberta Howdy Arabia. That's what I like to call Alberta, because it's pretty much that here in Alberta, especially in Calgary. Like Edmonton's not as right. Like Edmonton's a little bit more blue collar. You know what I mean? So for my friends in the Bay Area that I miss so much, Calgary's like San Francisco, and Edmonton's like Oakland. So you got your shining city. You got your shining city on one side, and then you got your gritty city on the other. So
Yeah.
but please continue before you talk the stream to death there and knocked yourself out.
So, like what I was saying is like that's the big thing with the Delta variant, because that's where most like the infections are coming. It's people who are unvaccinated. With what they're trying to do with like this, with like the stadiums and the teams they're trying to do, they're trying to cover their own ass to an extent. And then some of it is also like I think the NFL and MLB lost a few $1 billion last year in revenue because they didn't have fans in the stands. That's why the CFL didn't go on last year, because the CFL is a gate-driven league. And they would have, had the CFL played last season, they would have gone bankrupt, and there would not be a CFL anymore.
And just to sorry to interrupt there, I just saw a segue into something else real quick. As you all know, Joanne Breskinson, Tavares Daniels, and Conbray Williams of the Toronto Argonauts and Calgary Stampeders, respectively, are part of the Bravara Media podcast network, and they will be coming out with a show. I think they're recording next week, and they will be talking about what they had to go through during the pandemic and how it affected them, because they're somewhere in the middle, right? They're not millions of dollars a year like the NFLers, and they're just a little bit probably in the middle class, a little bit upper class in terms of their salary with us normal folk. So many of them had to get their jobs, and I know a lot of you are going to be like boo-hoo, but these guys are athletes, and they do deserve to make what they get paid. Because at the end of the day, you and I can't throw a football that way. We don't skate like Connor McDavid. We do not hit a tennis ball like Serena Williams.
Can't hit 500-foot bombs like a certain Blue Jay.
Sure, and I can't even. I don't even know how people curl. Like like it's not my thing.
Or why?
So. But I did watch the Vancouver games curling. I followed that because I really liked how the Russian ladies played the game of curling.
Really?
Oh my!
In saying that, Sheldon, take a stab at that question that Heather had asked us. What do you think there with the vaccine passport per se?
I honestly, I'm not going to pretend I know, because you raised a very good point, to be completely honest with you, Heather, because that's all there is to it. You raised a good point. I don't know enough about it to give a educated answer, so I don't want to talk out my ass.
I thought you were going to say to give a shit. That's why I started laughing already.
Oh man.
But right,
for me,
I mean, like, think about it. We're all equal. We can get it. We can give it. So why can you go if you're vaccinated, and why can't you go if you're not? I don't get it. Plus, if you're vaccinated, you're protecting yourself. So who cares about the unvaccinated? Let them go. Let them do whatever they want to do. I don't get it.
I think I have a pretty good answer for that. Why people are like this? I think people are like this because even last year when I was in Vegas, I mean, many of you all know that I got COVID on the same day as Donald Trump, of all people, a very infamous kind of moniker to own. Me and Donald, me and DJT got good old Donald and I got the virus on the same fucking day. So being down there during that time, Mr. Trump was holding rallies in northern Nevada, so out in Elko and all those places. So it kind of even trickled down to Paradise Ave in Las Vegas. Yeah, so I would drive around at night and I would see Trump supporters on corners with their Trump signs, and in the dark, they were standing in the dark, like where it's more dimly lit places in Las Vegas. And so to say that spending so much time in the U.S. For work the last 4 or 5 years, I think Donald Trump did cause a divide, and I think aggressive politics in the States is what he brought, and I think it's trickled down here to Canada as well, or trickled up or ballooned up here to Canada as well. So I think people nowadays, with the expansion of even social media, so we used to only have Facebook, and then Facebook and Twitter, and you guys remember, well, maybe the two young guys here don't remember, but not. I mean, I'm older than Heather, that's for sure. You can tell by the way that I look. We had MySpace, and we had
I'm not that young.
I have MySpace.
Did you? Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I think the expansion of social media, now it's expanded, so the Instagrams, the whatever it is. I think politics has become a bigger thing, and if you notice social media, no matter what you use, people just like to disagree. Now, the one thing that I can say about that is some people just go on there to argue, and I think what happens is a very a wise man by the name of Doug. Y'all all know him as Mr. Lube, as you all greeted him when you saw him at the football game. My father told me, when two people are arguing from afar, a person who's seeing them argue, you can't tell who the fool is. So basically, I think that this is why we're disagreeing so much. And I think, to put it into perspective, like Heather has said, really it's the same. If you're vaccinated, then you shouldn't have to worry too much, right? Especially in Alberta. When everything's open. I'm of the belief, personally, I would prefer everybody to be vaccinated, because unless you're going to get a stroke, or you're going to get, you have health problems where you can't. I think that if you can, you should, and don't not do it for the sake of just being political or I'm such a tough guy, you know what I mean, and calling other people sheep, because if you sooner or later, if these cases keep coming up, we're going right back into lockdown, Alberta. So that's important to note. No matter how tough Jason Kenney thinks he is, if you're really that tough, Jason, you would fight me in that charity boxing match that I've been asking for since last year. I think that to answer your question, Heather, I think that's kind of why this is going on now. To move on from politics for a second. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back with our last segment, and we'll talk about something really fun. We might even have a couple of trivia questions for Heather, because we like to play a game on the Inferno 403 podcast, and that's called Into the Fire.
I meant to tell you, no Into the Fire.
No, this is not going to be Into the Fire, but I'll drag up a few questions. Just we gotta have some fun at the end of the show. We can't end it on a hard note like politics. So we'll be right back with the Bravura Media podcast. Thank you very much. And we're back for our last segment here with the Bravura Media podcast talk show. All right, so we're going to end the segment with some fun stuff, I think. Like, we've been talking about Vegas, we've been talking about Calgary, so let's stick to Vegas a little bit. Sheldon, do you have a question for Heather?
Yeah, Heather, convince me after this podcast to head down the road to my casino here. What's your biggest win?
Well, I tell you, my very first win, I gotta tell you that first. My very first win in Vegas was $130 on a penny machine, and I was so excited. I thought my life was changed because I won money gambling. But my biggest win in Las Vegas, $40,000 US.
Wow.
40,000 US. And you want to know something? I was totally wasted. Put my little ticket in the machine, was hitting max bet, no idea what I was playing. I was trying to read the machine and figure out what the hell am I betting. And then all of a sudden my machine froze, and I'm like, and there's no bells and whistles like you see that there's supposed to be. There wasn't any of that. It's like my machine's froze. What's wrong with my machine? And then I realized, because they're all coming around now, that I just won the top jackpot, 40,000. So my bet was like $18 or $19 a spin. I never would have been doing that, but thank God I was. So, yeah, 40,000. But I'm a Canadian, so
that's
they took
a
some money away.
that's right. They do tax you. That's a pretty big win. That's a pretty big win. Now, Heather, we want to play a game with you. So your YouTube channel is She Knows Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Your Twitter handle is She Knows Vegas. Let's see how well Heather knows Vegas. Brian, we got some trivia questions that Brian is going to read off to you. No pressure.
So, this is from Trip Savvy.
Oh, God.
What is the oldest hotel in Las Vegas?
Well, I would guess that the oldest hotel would be.
Can I give you a hint? Can I give you a hint?
Fremont Street. It would be on Fremont Street, likely.
Let me give you a hint. It had mob ties from the most handsome mobster of all time. He went to the desert with an idea.
Oh, a lot of them have that.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
crying out loud.
Right?
He's the first one, and his boss was Maya Lansky and Charlie Luciano.
I'm going to say Flamingo, even though it's not down on Fremont. It's probably one of the first casinos in Vegas.
No, oldest hotel.
Oldest
Hotel. Gee, okay. Sorry guys, that was my fault. I led her down the wrong direction.
I was going with casino. You're going to have to tell me.
The Golden Gate Hotel in downtown Las Vegas, which opened in 1906.
On Fremont, yeah. Okay. Cool.
On Fremont, yeah.
What year did the first casino in Las Vegas receive its gambling license?
I have
My
no
goodness,
idea.
what type of questions are these? Like,
Right?
these are so hard, man.
I just found these on the internet.
I don't know, and I
Take
don't care.
a stab at it. Just guess. Just guess.
I don't know.
1931.
Holy.
We gotta test Lady Luck a little bit. When you don't know, just guess. I mean, you won $40,000 playing slots. You might guess right. You never know. I would just, if I was as lucky as you, I'd just guess everything.
If I was just as lucky as you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a very lucky guy.
I was doing research on one of my gambling videos, and I went to Grey Eagle to play the machines and see if the research that I did worked. And I won $9,000 while I was videotaping, and I'm like,
Okay, we're going. As Sheldon and Brian know, I've been recently in the dumps a little bit. A lot of stuff to pay for, and these guys have been helping me sort out this mess here, helping me pay for some stuff for the network. I gotta go with you, Heather. Heather. I've got $20. What can we do with it? Let's go.
not much.
That's true.
All right. What's the third question we have here? We got three more. Let's see if Heather can get these three right.
Alrighty, give me a second.
Can you tone it down?
Sure, I will try to find something that's not as absolutely ridiculous. So this is tourism facts about Vegas, or tourism trivia. I'm hoping this is not as bad. How many if you had to make a guess about how many people visit Las Vegas in a year, what would your guess be?
Oh my God. Millions? Seriously?
I would assume you're right.
Have you seen the strip ever? Seriously.
Oh, I've seen it. I have friends down in Vegas. So more than 42 million people visit Las Vegas each year.
Wow.
She got it right. She said million. She got it right. She said millions.
I would have guessed 30, but I didn't want to be ridiculous. But wow.
No, that's pretty dang. That would have been lowballing it, but yeah.
Wow, yeah. Holy. Millions.
Heather's got one right. She's got one right. Millions is a blanket,
Florida.
broad,
That works.
but she
I will
got
take
it.
that works for me. What's another one?
As Brian's waiting, you are listening to the, as we're waiting for Brian, you are listening to the Bravura Media. I keep, sorry guys, I keep stumbling on my words because we used to call it Bravura. Now that we changed it to Bravura, I'm having some troubles. But you are listening to the Bravura Media podcast talk show.
I keep wanting to say that 3 times.
Oh, yeah. Always tripping. It's a Chinese thing. Anytime you throw an R in our in our way for English, we have problems. So as for example, so R's and W's. So I mean I'm Chinese, so I can make fun of my own people. Like so my uncle he can't say his W's. So if he's saying it's windy, he'll be like it's rindy, right? Or as you can tell, when I'm trying to say bravura, I have some problems with my R's, and I've been here since I was 5, and I speak this language fluently, and I'm still having some problems here or there.
So this will be our final little tidbit of Vegas trivia / fun facts. What is your guess about how many weddings take place in Vegas every day?
Jeez.
Boy,
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Noah Adler? Holy shit! What kind of questions are these, man?
1,000.
There are 300 weddings in Vegas every day.
Oh, I thought it was a week. Oh, day. Okay.
Yeah, I guess we can't give you that one.
No.
Well, I mean, hey, Lube, you might have a better chance in Vegas of trying to find someone who's not insane.
Well, are you? Is that a jab at me for my recent dating history?
No, that's not a jab at you. That's just like you need to find someone who's not batshit insane.
That is very true. Also, that is very true.
Love you, brother.
I love you too, brother. Thank you for putting that girl on blast. We might as well just broadcast her name to the world right now. But no, you guys are laughing at me. You Twitter followers, you saw last week that I had a girlfriend, and I literally had a girlfriend for like 1 day, and then I didn't have a girlfriend. So this happens often in my life, as you know, Twitter can tell. Twitter can tell. So thank you for reminding us all of that situation there, Brian. I love you, brother. That was very kind of you. Now,
I gotta tell you guys something. My little cute Emma that I showed you.
Yep.
She just peed on my green screen.
She turned your green screen.
It's like the green screen's the background, but then you got the green on the floor. So, oh my God. I just looked over and I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my!
It's the yellow screen, and with that, I think Emma needs. I think Emma's saying something to Mom. So now, before we end the program tonight, Heather, where can we find you on social media? And is there anything else you want to plug? Any charities? Any projects that you're working on? Anything coming up with the YouTube channel? Anything at all? The floor is yours.
Well, you can find me at She Knows Vegas on Twitter and on YouTube. I do have a She Knows Vegas Facebook page. I just kind of throw stuff over there, and I'm not really active on there. But if you want to know anything about Vegas, like what's going on currently, if you went there, you'd actually probably see some stuff. Because every time I see something interesting or newsworthy, I just throw it over there. And I'm just working on some more gambling videos so that you guys can gamble more educated. I mean, gambling's gambling. I'm not an expert, but hey, I can teach you some things that will increase your chances of winning. And I'm going to start live streaming because this is fun.
For sure. We'll be happy to have you back sometime. Please invite us onto yours too sometime. Like, maybe you can invite me when I'm in Vegas. You know, I'll be over there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and I know some of the boys are thinking about going down there to visit me this year, or at some point to catch a football game, hockey game, and Britney Spears, ladies and gentlemen, we can go watch Britney Spears perform. Is she still there? I'm not even sure. Or because I saw a free Britney, I wasn't sure what that hashtag meant. Like free Britney from Vegas, or
That's more about the.
She's trying to get freed from her father. And
she is now.
Did. Yeah, she did. Yeah, because he was like taking care of all her affairs because she was little.
He basically he had her on like a metaphorical leash and a metaphorical chain. Like he basically controlled every aspect of her life, and she had very little freedom.
Oh, I thought that's what they meant. I thought it was free her from her contract in Vegas.
No, it was more about just like the overt, like almost controlling attitude her father had over her.
Brian, bro, I have the internet. I know why. I was just joking. I was just joking.
God, I was wondering. I thought, do you just talk so much sports you have no idea what else is going on?
I'm not as stupid as I look sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, with that, Heather Shaw joined us for our first episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give her a follow on Twitter, and that's at She Knows Vegas. Check her YouTube channel out. Make sure you do everything. Check out everything that she does, because I'm a big fan. We're all big fans of Heather. And if you ever want to see the two of us in real life in person, I mean, when we're in Calgary, we're likely over at the Schooners pub on Old Bab Coach Road. So another free plug for you guys. You guys are getting a lot of plugs tonight.
We're getting a shot tonight.
Oh yeah. And I am Hawk and Lube's Helmet, Chan, and of course you can find me on Twitter at Purge321, and joined by my two co-hosts, Sheldon Hankins at Sheldon_Hankins, and Brian at Rave. Is it at Rave Healer?
It's at Rave Healer list of numbers.
Oh,
but yeah, just Rave Healer.
Just look for that profile pic. He's standing there with two other co-hosts. One of them happens to be the most handsome guy in the podcast. Not you, Chris. That would be me. Look for our pictures, and you'll recognize him for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for our pilot episode of the Bravara Media Podcast Talk Show. We'll see you for episode 2. Have a good night.